Oh, now it's not captured.
Oh, so all of our many viewers will have missed just the brilliance that just was emitting from me.
Right.
You probably didn't know, and let me bring this off so I can stop presenting so it'll see the speaker of the group recorded, that somebody left a message yesterday about our last movie.
Someone did?
Yeah.
Who?
Are you making that up like you know?
No. I didn't check. I haven't looked.
So it says this guy, Chris, HNAMURTIISM or whatever.
Okay.
He says, as soon as I saw this film last year, I knew it was a masterpiece. In fact, it ranks as my favorite film. This is about The Swimmer.
Oh,
to me, it's like a dream full of wish fulfillments and anxieties.
Okay, we should have Chris come
Wow. I think that's a first, isn't it?
No, I think I've seen a couple. It just is so weird to realize that somebody watched it and took what we're saying as we were being serious. Because we are.
Oh, right.
We are. We're being serious.
No, of course we are.
But we're not knowledgeable in the depth of psychological and all movie critiquing.
But we don't take it seriously.
Right.
No, we were having fun with it last month, and I know you guys always do. Like, you always have such great conversations, and it was just a really relaxed conversation we had last month. So yeah, I'm glad we have a new viewer. That's great.
Well, I don't know if he's a viewer. He may have came across it and went, "Oh, these people are doing. Let me put my notion in," and he'll never come across this again. More than likely that he's not like a
new subscriber.
A new subscriber. That's right.
And if you hit the second tier, which is $10 a month, we will send you pictures of us when we were children.
Or if he is like Eve and he's actually gonna take over our.
That's right.
Right.
So we should introduce the movie we watched was all about Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Which was terribly confusing for me because in my head I was thinking the three faces of Eve, which I knew was about multiple personalities. So when I started watching the movie, I'm thinking, oh, I wonder when her personalities are going to show up. But in some ways, they sort of did.
Yeah,
they did. Yes,
they did.
I liked this movie. I really did. I liked it more than I thought I would, and I thought the performances were very good. Normally with those movies, they kind of cut up the scenery, like the acting is really overdone. And there were some times there where, Betty Davis, she was known for that, the enunciation and everything too, and fasten your seatbelts is going to be a bumpy night. We were expecting that from her, but I liked it even more as it went on.
Yeah, I did. I love the way it slowly revealed the depth of the Eve character.
Me too.
Like we came up when we were introduced to the character, it's like, okay, that's nice. She's lovely and sweet. And then it's like, oh, little chips of reality is getting, carved into that statue. And was like, what is it going to look like? And then by the end, we get a different picture than what we had at the beginning. So exactly. I appreciated that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I did. And Margot was such a complex character.
Oh, she was.
She was really good.
And when she was drinking in that scene, she was very believable. Oh my gosh, you really thought that she was like just the depths of despair.
Yeah. What did Jeff think?
I very much liked it. I wasn't expecting this good movie. I didn't like the very beginning, which was like. That it seemed like what they did a lot in the 50s had a narrator go, and that character as well. They did it in so many different films. Even The Apartment, my favorite movie, didn't have a narrator, but it had him working in a big office building, showing big office building. Like it looked like not like the movie, and the character generation was like just trying to impress you with something. And that's what they were doing there. And I had seen the scene where she went sort of backstage and got her way into the room. I watched that a few years ago, not knowing what that was, but I don't remember seeing the beginning because I would have turned it off if I saw the beginning. So I must have looked at the movie, clicked a few minutes into it, and saw that scene of her getting into the room.
Yeah, so it starts with an awards scene, and it ends with well, not ends, but it tidies it up again at the end. But yeah, so the rest was sort of flashback. But yeah, the narrator, but like I think the word is exposition. When we do writing, you have to give backstory sometimes, and and it's really hard to do that without just having a narrator say it. Like how do you, like, we're taught in writing to use dialogue and other things to help you describe, instead of saying she was a bitch. You want to say something that she did that was, and then you can intonate that. But that's really, I mean, get to the point. The movie was long enough. It didn't need, them to act out some of the stuff that he was just narrating.
Yeah, I didn't like the narration part. I would have liked that piece gone and just tried to figure out what was going, because when you saw the fact that she won the Oscar or whatever it is, and they turn around and now see her as a meek individual, like you knew that was her.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, there's going to be a rise to power here. And so is she going to be conniving or not? It's a question in your head. So as soon as she comes in, you're thinking, oh, she might be conniving. I wanted to not know that. I wanted to be surprised later when all of a sudden I realized she was conniving. But the fact that she won the award at the beginning gave too much away, I thought.
That's right. And I thought too that the with the narration and everything, it was distracting for me too, because they would say all about Eve, and we thought, okay, well, we're going to find out more about this character, obviously, but I didn't really think we needed that. And yeah, I'm like Jeff. I wanted that to evolve, and I wanted to have a few more surprises, because I knew that she was up to something, but yeah. I found that bit distracting.
Yeah, and I actually kind of liked the narration, to be honest.
Okay.
Maybe not quite as much as we got, but I did appreciate that. Like, the voice was kind of nice, the way he talked and chattered on.
Yep.
And yeah, I thought he was okay to narrate it, but yeah, I did like the way it still unfolded. It laid out, and first you think, oh, she is such a sweet girl, isn't she? And then it's like, oh, layers are peeled away, and it's like,
And she was so polite, and she was so helpful too. Let me do that for you. Oh, yeah. Margot, yes, I would be delighted to do that for you.
Nowadays it would be a stalker, right?
Exactly. That's
and so
right.
We don't have anything like they didn't use that. But it's funny how Margot kind of knew all along, at the very beginning there was little cracks saying, and she knew before everyone else that this woman is going to be trouble.
That's right. Yeah, too. And Birdie as well, too. Like, she instantly took a dislike to her. And then when she started telling her sob story and about her husband, Eddie, and this and that, and they were all in tears. And even Birdie was starting to tear up. And I thought, really, for that, I would have liked it if they didn't have the character of Birdie tear up, too, because it was kind of like she was buying into the story. I thought it would have been better if she was just kind of standing back thinking, oh, are you guys buying all this baloney?
Yeah, kind of rolling her eyes instead of they smoked so much.
Oh my God. It was just clouds of it, and they were walking through it. It is
like, wow. Definitely in bed, like eating smoke.
Yeah,
it was just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I you can almost smell the smoke, because you remember what it was like 50 years ago. Although Stacey might remember what it was like 40 years ago. Maybe not 50. I remember Dad smoking in the car, and I remember just smoke just around you, and it was normal, and you didn't think about it. And now, like, Dad would have been taken all off to jail for the smoking he did in front of us nowadays.
And too, all cars you bought had ashtrays in them, the front, the back, and they were just,
you remember that,
just there. Yeah.
That little silver ashtray that popped open. Yep. Even the sound of it I can hear in my mind, the little metal.
Aluminum.
Right,
aluminum,
Yeah.
So what else was I gonna say? So it's like I take notes. So I was like,
oh, good. I did that for the swimmer too.
Two pages.
Awesome.
Now it's mostly just keeping track of what's going on, but every once in a while. So Joseph Mankiewicz, the director, has also directed other movies that we had watched and reviewed. So he directed The Barefoot Contessa, Cleopatra, and Suddenly Last Summer. So he's well known, and I believe he got an Oscar for this one.
Oh, so he did Suddenly Last Summer. I remember when you reviewed that. Yes, with Elizabeth Taylor. Yeah.
Yes. So he's had some pretty heavy hitters. And now I think for this movie, it was supposed to be Claudette Colbert, and it didn't work out somehow, and that's why Bette Davis got on.
Oh,
so
okay.
I didn't know that, but that was kind of interesting.
Right. So she was supposed to be Margot then, Claudette Colbert? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Bette Davis wanted to be Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind. She bargained for that and didn't get it. It's like, oh man, when these big stars don't get what they want, it's like, wow.
Not know that she wanted to be in that one. My God.
Yeah. Everyone, all of the starlets were trying to get, to be Scarlett O'Hara. They were all bargaining for it. And then relatively unknown was Lee. What's her name? Starts with a V.
Oh, Vivian
Lee. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, the men, to me, they all kind of looked alike in this movie. They're all wearing suits, and so at least some of the women, they weren't all like blondes. We had Marilyn Monroe in this one.
That's right. Yes. Yep. And the dialogue about the butler, and then she said something to the effect of, well, if his name was Butler.
Yes, that's great. You can't call him Butler because his name might be Butler. Okay.
I did think that was very good. I thought the men were very different looking.
Well, they were to a certain degree, but I was forgetting which name was who and which. Yeah, so
that's right. When they'd say Bill, I would think, okay, is that Margot's fiance, or is that Celeste Holmes' husband, or yeah?
I had a weird one. I couldn't stop thinking. Bill Sampson is played by Gary Merrill, and he looked a spitting image of an actor named Brian Benben. And Brian Benben was the lead guy in Dream On. Do you remember the show Dream On?
I do remember the show Dream On.
Yeah. When you were looking at Bill Sampson in this, I couldn't stop seeing Brian Benben. I couldn't, his face, I'm going, that's gotta be his dad.
And especially his profile too. That's right.
Everything.
Yes.
Even the way he talked and his little intonations remind me exactly of Brian Benben. So I looked it up, and I said his name's Brian Benben. Well, that doesn't match. And then I said, is that the son of Gary Merrill? And it said, no, it's not. And so then I said to it, who's Gary Merrill's wife? And it said it, and I wrote down, did she play in any? Was she connected at all to Brian Benben's parents? You know what I mean? Like maybe she had an affair with the dad, and I was going to find out something that nobody else has figured out. You know what I mean? Like I'm the first one to notice it. He's so much. Watch a little bit of Dream On, and then if you go back, you go, "Oh my goodness, that looks even." I was sitting there going, "Could he have just not aged?" Because in Dream On, he's 28 years old and or 35 years old, that kind of range, and yet in here he was already 30 something years old, and that was almost 50 years before. So it had to have been, in my mind, not him, but it was just so much of him in there.
I've never even heard of Dream On.
Oh, it was quite the show. I used to watch it late at night. I don't know, like around here, it was on one of the channels late at night. But yeah, I forgot all about that actor.
A television series, then?
Yep.
It's on NBC. Yeah, it's on NBC.
Yeah, and Gary Merrill was married to Bette Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was interesting. Yeah.
Yep.
Although she's had a few of them. Men.
I think it was her fourth and final husband.
Okay.
Now, was he that much younger than her? Because they said it was 8 years difference.
He was. She was 42. I think when they got married, he was 35. So when they made reference to that she was the big 40, like That really was. And they met on set. That's where they became a couple on that movie.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow, very cool.
Yep.
I thought the women were great. I thought the acting was fantastic, except for Betty Davis being over the top. The rest, I didn't like Eve at the very end when the other girl was now taking her place and becoming the same kind of thing, dying to get into show business. And what happened is she just sort of had her reactions were sort of a little bit questioning, but it wasn't good acting. Even Betty Davis was so much better at the beginning when you saw her. Like she was like, you believed she was an aging star who sort of didn't want people to bother her, but at the same time wanted people to bother her if they loved her. Like there was that kind of thing going on, but it didn't seem as real at the very end when you saw it happening again. I just didn't believe that one.
Yeah. Especially when she turns around and says, who let you in? Who are you? Who are you? It was just a little.
Yeah. But it was kind of like, oh, it's coming around.
Yep.
The stalker is being stalked.
Phoebe has arrived.
So at what point did you guys think that Eve was bad news? Like at what point did you go, uh-oh, she is bad news?
Not really, really bad news. Like I knew she was headed that way, but when she met in the bathroom with the other writer's wife, Karen.
Karen.
Oh, yeah.
And then she said, you can't reveal your secret. Like I have your secret and I know it. You helped me get Eve on stage because they ran out of gas thing. Yeah. So that was okay for sure. And the fact that she was going to be holding it over her head. It's like, so, but they did that well too. Like she's sitting in the car and they're running out of gas. And it's like, you could just, the tension is starting and it's like, okay, there's more to just running out of gas than this. Like
when Betty Davis said to her, well, it's not your fault we ran out of gas. She's slinking in her seat. She's like, going down and down. Yeah. But what was really weird is they showed the front of the car and they showed that there was gas in the tank. Like the needle was above empty.
It was. Yeah. It was between empty and a quarter, I think. Yeah.
It was up there, certainly enough to have gas in it. Like that was, I thought that was very strange that in my mind, I thought, oh, maybe it was organized with him and he faked it and said, I ran out of gas. And it's like, that was at the time. I didn't think later because of what happened. But at the time I was thinking that he could have just pulled the choke out and tried to start the car and it wasn't going. And I have to go get gas and I have to go find help. That kind of thing might have happened because like realistically, how is she going to empty the car of gas? How would you empty a car?
Yeah, like I know. Yeah. Did she siphon it like that? My guess is that she had the car and she just drove it around for all day long, so that it would be out of gas.
But then you wouldn't be out 5 minutes before getting to the train station. You just wouldn't.
I don't know. It
wouldn't start, or you'd make it all the way to the train station.
Yeah, no idea how she figured out that, but yeah, that was part of she's trying to help Eve, and yet she's screwing over her friend Margot, and yet now she's in trouble because Eve is ready to hold it over her head, and yeah. And then the part I didn't like is when she was claiming that she was falling in love with that guy towards the very end when Eve said, who was it? Margot's guy? No, I don't know if it was. Karen's husband.
I know, and it was not true at all.
Yeah, so that was done in such a way that I was thinking, oh, okay, was it? No, of course it wasn't.
I know, I questioned it too.
Yeah,
he was so logical, and he ripped her apart when he sort of went, that's not what happened. I'm going, oh, he's able to figure it out. We can't, but he's able to, because he realized how much she was lying. Remember the Schubert Theater?
Yeah,
that's right. Yep. So talking about Eddie not even existing. Yeah. And I did think that Eve, when she was on the bed and she's crying and you just see the back of her, like I thought that was like, a little bit overdone there, but
I wonder if it was all fake.
Yeah.
No, when she was crying there,
it seemed real.
He was saying, you're mine. I got you. You're my girl now. well, I'm in love with somebody else, even though she wasn't in love with somebody else.
Yeah.
She's just saying that because she didn't like him. And he's like, no, you're screwed. You're mine.
Yep.
And like I sort of like that because even in the bed she's crying, and he goes, do you understand? And she goes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he said to her, you belong to me now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Really, I thought that was really good. He had that kind of bravado in him, the way he talked and his confidence, and the fact that he went, I guess, he got private detective to go find out her real name and family, and because he knew her parents were looking to hear from her. Like, there's so much like that. What I liked is he didn't go, I hired a private detective and I found out this and this and this. He didn't do that.
No.
He just sort of laid out the things. But the Schubert Theater, what was cool about that is I was hoping he wouldn't say, you were never at the Schubert Theater. There isn't one in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I was hoping he wouldn't have said that, because when he said that to her, I right away, my radar went up and went, oh, he's tricking her. Like he's saying the Schubert Theater. So the moment he said that to her, I'm going, he's using that because it was so much the line of, oh, and how which place was the play at? Was it at the Schubert?
Yeah.
He could stop with which place was it at and be done with it, but he didn't. He led her into that trap. And that's what got him to hire the stuff, and she was so confident it was a Schubert. But did you see that they were, at the end when they were walking down the street, they passed the Schubert Theater?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's two of them. There's one in New York and one in New Haven, Connecticut, one they were at. I looked it up, and like both of them were open like in 1914. And the Schubert company owns about 15 theaters. Only two of them are called Schubert Theater. The one in New Haven and the one in New York.
Okay, that was what do you call that? The walking down the street in front of, that was all, I won't say green screen, but it was the fake background, and it looked pretty obvious. That it was, and I was waiting for those people to catch up with them as they're walking in the background.
Even their pace, even his pace, they're walking like this, and they're moving way faster than that.
Yeah. Near the beginning of the movie, Margot says, I love a psychotic. And it's like, that's exactly what she got. She didn't know she was. Now, so that guy, Max, with the Russian accent, he reminded me of General Hochstetter's voice. No, General Bullcalder's voice from Hogan's Heroes. And I knew it wasn't the same guy, but it was the same Russian accent.
But didn't you think he reminded you of Harvey Weinstein? Like the same kind of look, same kind of man with power, and he's the one who put on the movies. Like you had to go to him and suck up to him because he was the money man in the
producer.
Mm-hmm.
So man, did it remind me. Although he didn't do the sleeping with the girls for the parts, the girls did or at least Eve did the sleeping with the guys, or wanting to,
chasing after,
like to get ahead. So it was a really anti-Me Too movie because the women looked bad and the men looked great, especially what's his name, Hugh Marlowe, Lloyd Richards, the guy who was the boyfriend of Betty Davis. Like he looked like
this is Bill, I think.
Yeah, Bill was the boyfriend of Betty Davis. Yeah.
There was too many men.
There was, and then Lloyd again. Yeah.
This Hugh Marlowe is the real name, and Lloyd Richards was the Bill Sampson. Oh, you're right. Bill Sampson was the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Hugh Marlowe was the other guy's. Husband. Okay.
Yeah. So there were a few major roles. So like this isn't just like when Burt Lancaster, it was him and he met some people on the way. These people were all woven into each other and knew each other, and they had they were bargaining with each other and all kinds of stuff. So one of the things I liked is when Eve arranged that phone call for Margot to look like she's calling Bill when she didn't at all, and Eve did that, and at first I thought, oh, how sweet that is, that she helped Margot stay in her relationship, but it was like all underlying
But why? What's the underpinning of deviousness there? Like that was a nice thing to do.
But she's also letting Margot know that she's not a proper.
How?
By doing the thing that Margot should have done all by herself.
It made Margot look good in his eyes.
Yeah, but Margot now knows that she doesn't look good because she didn't do the thing that she should have done. It's like
she looks good to Eve, but she looks good to the boyfriend, which is the important thing.
Yeah, but yes, no, it's like I'm going to get you a present because you need to give Karina a present and you forgot, so I'm going to do it for you. And it's like, well, I know then that, and you know that. Oh, should have.
You've done good. You've done good for me. Like when I saw that, I actually went, wow, that was when I was questioning, maybe she's just a good person.
Yeah.
I saw nothing but I didn't like it when she said, oh, did you set up that call? Oh my goodness, I did. Her lying about the fact that she would have remembered that. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
And the fact that she hid that made me question that maybe there was some kind of bad in it, but it felt good. Like even when it sounded like he wanted to say happy birthday to me. He goes, say the words. And she goes, oh, don't be children about it. Because you thought it was I love you was the thing about don't be children about it.
Yeah.
Because he said, don't be children about it. That's not weird. That's just what kids do. And then she realized it was his birthday. She went, happy birthday. Oh my goodness. And then realized that she gave the call to do that. And then they both said, I love you at the end. That was really funny because she didn't want to when she thought it was just like not part of it. That was, I don't know. I thought that made Eve look good. And that was a good thing to do. I didn't see any, like, if anything, if you're going to try and be in Betty Davis's orbit and try and get away, or Margot Channing's orbit, try and get away with this stuff, you're going to have to do a bunch of good things that are just good. You know what I mean? You're going to have to.
I think she did it, and I think there was an underlying, it did look good for everyone on the outside, but I think she was devious enough. Like now, once it's revealed that her whole story is fake, it's like, nah, she didn't do that to be sweet. She's underneath it all. She's got something cooked up.
When you're a bad person, it doesn't mean every single thing you do is bad.
True.
I think to stay in her orbit, you have to do 10 good things and then one conniving thing to get your hooks in, and then 10 good things. Like it was said so much that she has all her affairs in order. She can go off and do another job. Well, you don't get all their affairs in order by being conniving for every step. I think the conniving was when she thought she might have an opportunity to be an actress, and because she realized that was what she loved. She loved her for it. And we now know she didn't go watch every single, she wasn't in San Francisco to see it, to come out here. Although they said I saw her in the audience watching. The one guy said, yeah, I've seen you.
Yeah, she was watching a lot there. And she also knew all the lines, so because she wanted to take over, right? And so that was why the secret with the
You think she started with I want to take over? I don't think so.
I think pretty close near the beginning, because you don't concoct a story without having this underlying. She wasn't just trying to be in her orbit. I think she wanted a job and wanted to get in Hollywood and wanted to be close to it.
She loved the lights, but I really don't think at the very beginning you go, you know what, if I play my cards right, I can be her best friend and I can end up taking her role in the middle if I know the lines enough. And it's more, you're there, you're doing as good a work as you can for her, and then you start to see some of the trappings of the business.
No, I think she knew not all along, but she was devious from the beginning, and we just were suckered in for quite a long time. That's my idea.
Come on, Stacey, tell us.
I think that she was a little bit confused at first, but I think that she did have a general plan. And when she started to tell that story and they were crying and everything, I think she was kind of like the cat who got the canary. Oh boy, I am a good actress. Look at the reaction I'm getting. So it was kind of an interesting scene. I thought that it was showing what an actress she was, that she could convince somebody like Margot Channing, who was a Broadway star and this playwright and everything, that, oh, I've got them all convinced. Yeah.
Even the one guy, I don't remember which one, said to her, this acting that you're doing, that, oh no, it's not me. It's like, is is just as bad as somebody who goes, "It's all me, it's all me." You're like, in other words, there's a middle ground. Don't you? You remember that?
Yeah,
She was called out for it, for the fact that she would be pretended to be so meek, and so I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so like, you're the best person ever in the whole world, and I do nothing, and I'm worth nothing, and I haven't, like, I think it was when she said, when she did the first night at the show, the play, and then she came out and was saying, "Oh no, I'm just an understudy. Nobody will even remember me tomorrow." And he went, "Stop it. Stop being like that."
Well, she had plotted to have all those guys there. What?
That's
like,
right.
So that was not an accident. She's more devious than I think we gave her credit for.
I think that came on later.
I did like that her Eve's character at the beginning reminded me of Melanie on Gone with the Wind. You know, just good and so sweet, and just can do anything to fit into where she wanted to be. I thought that was kind of good. They had I loved when she had the line, "Shucks, I sent my autograph book to the cleaners." Margot had said that. And it's like, what I like about that is I remember autograph books. When we were kids, we had an autograph book, and we would take it to school and get kids to sign each other's autograph, and like not even famous people, but just each other and classmates.
Yeah.
And Tony DeFranco.
Yeah. He didn't. I did get his autograph.
Oh, Tony DeFranco, who someone went to school with, or
no? I got Tiger Beat magazine, and there was a contest in there. If you could solve the little puzzle with the words, you could be part of his fan club. And so I did that. And so when he came with his family to Hamilton Place, I got to go backstage and meet him.
Oh,
and you?
Hmm?
Didn't he give you a kiss on the cheek or something?
Probably. I think they probably all did.
Saying that, I
don't even remember, but I got Christmas cards from the five in the group for 2 years.
This is interesting because I'm kind of up on pop culture, but I've never heard of that fellow before.
The DeFranco family?
No.
So Tony DeFranco. So he was kind of like a Canadian Donny Osmond.
Canadian?
Okay.
Canadian.
Oh, he's from Welland. He's from Port Colborne.
Oh.
Yes.
Really? I thought he was LA.
No, they moved there after he got famous. So that's why.
Oh no. But what I'm saying is, like, when you met him, he was already living in LA. Yeah, okay.
But he
might have been Canadian. He looked a bit Mexican, kind of. There's like a little bit of Spanish.
Italian.
Italian. Yeah,
Italian.
So there's a song called "Heartbeat is a Love Beat, is a True Beat."
It's when we meet. Sensational heartbeat. It's a love beat, and Abracadabra. And then they did "Save the Last Dance" for me. Those were his 3 hits. But when I went to the concert, we're backstage at Hamilton Place, and of course we don't have a phone with a flash, or a camera with a flash, so I can't take a picture. So I like that moment left. And before they came back, I got a nosebleed.
Oh no.
But I don't think he was there for any of that. But I went with my friend Rita, and we decided we too would be singing people. So she asked me to learn how to play guitar so that we could be, singers too.
Oh.
Weren't you the president of the Hamilton fan club?
Well, not the I don't know that they had presidents, but I got the invitation to go backstage because I was a member of the fan club. Absolutely. That's the only person I was a member of a fan club.
Oh, very cool.
So now he sells real estate in LA, and
go buy a house from him.
Go
buy a house from him and ask him if he remembers you.
No, he doesn't remember. No. But it was like, I just thought he was such a cutie pie.
Well, I've learned something. I didn't know about that.
Look up Tony DeFranco. And then so I see the YouTube clips, and boy, the dance moves are corny. It's like, boy. Like anyone from the 70s, it was corny, right? So
you remember when the DeFranco family and the Bee Gees came to Eastgate Square, and we went to it, and the whole Eastgate Square was a sea of people. I remember going with you, or also, and the whole place was filled up, and they came out, and but I think everybody was, hip over the DeFranco family. The Bee Gees were like a not known kind of commodity, but they traveled together, like they did a concert together.
Did not recall that. That make vaguely familiar, but
you remember you got the Bee Gees album.
Sure.
Right around then. I remember that's why you got it.
I don't recall the Bee Gees so much.
Oh my goodness, because those songs from when we were kids.
Well, I know the songs, but I didn't know I was a fan, I guess.
Massachusetts, that song, the night the lights went out in Massachusetts. I remember hearing that so much. Now, we may have had it on 8-track, and we played it on the 8-track, but I remember those old songs played by the Bee Gees, like that whenever I hear an old one that we heard, I'll remember a lot of the words, even though I've never heard the song in 50 years.
A few years. No, I don't even know all of the songs. All I remember is a number of years ago, we were playing a game where you had to do certain things, like either with clay or do a puzzle or whistle or do certain things to get on a team with the family. We were at the Muscas and we were doing this. And one of them was to hum a song and get your teammates to guess it. And the song was Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. My mom got it, and she had no clue what to sing or hum, but she had to. And so in her head, she's thinking, okay, I can do it. I'll get you guys to guess it. So she's trying to replicate Staying Alive. Staying alive, right? So she's going, and we couldn't figure out what it was. And she said, staying alive. Okay, how are we supposed to guess that? We had no clue. Oh, that was the one funny that I remember about the Bee Gees. I don't remember being a particular fan of theirs. I guess they had hits and I liked them, but
I remember that in my mind, it was older music that you listened to. So I wanted to like older music because I was just a year and a half younger than you. And therefore I looked up to you then.
There you go.
Then
but you didn't like Tony DeFranco.
Oh, I didn't not like him. I wasn't into him like you were. He was a Tiger Beat thing. The last thing that me as a young boy is going to do is think, I think the Tiger Beat guy is cute. That's not till I was older.
Yeah. So, what else would I like? I like how they talked about the nylons, and you have to get the seam straight. And it's like, the nylons used to have seams. It's like, oh goodness gracious. What else? The one thing,
Anita, didn't some women like draw them on too, like the back of their legs, those seams? Yeah,
because they didn't need them, but it's like that was the attractive look. The one thing I kind of caught is when she right near the end, when Eve takes, I guess it's Alistair, it back into whoever's room it is, and she makes him a drink with ice cubes. It's like they just walked into the room. How come there's ice cubes sitting there? Like it should have melted. Is there someone there? Like I just like
none of it's in the ice cube.
It wasn't. It didn't seem to be. I didn't think.
Oh. Well, it's also the kind of elite aristocracy in New York that people might be setting those things up for you. We'll be arriving at 9, so they go, okay, at 8:45 we'll set up cookies and drinks in your.
Actually, probably just like I'm sure on Bewitched, Samantha before supper had to go put the ice cubes in the thing so that they could have drinks, because they had drinks every night after work.
That's right.
And when they entertained,
would come home. Yep,
that's what you did.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes they had Mr. Tate over, and they had to have those drinks already.
That's right, for the client. And it's funny because you watch the first year, and the client is worth $10,000. Oh goodness, we need to get this account. And then it was $20,000, and then by the end of the first season, it's $50,000, and then by the time you get to season 4, it's like $500,000. I think by the time they got to the end, it was $1 million account. $1 million. It just kept getting bigger and bigger. And Darren was always good.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, and her Eve's real name was Gertrude Slavinsky.
Yeah.
I thought that was good.
Yeah, that was quite a name.
But yeah, no, I thought it was a good movie. We talked about the movie for more than we normally talk about a movie because there was a few things to talk about too.
Yeah, it was. I liked it. It was a long movie. I didn't know it was going to be that long, but it grabbed me. That's for sure. Like I watched it intently because it's and Betty Davis is always. I always got a kick out of her, just the way she performed, and
there's something about her.
Yeah.
So both of them were nominated for Best Actress for the same movie. And that is really a kick because can you imagine which one wins and then goes up and is
the hatred between them. Yeah.
No,
and didn't it win for Best Picture too for 1950?
I think so on Best Director or there's lots of nominations and so on. One Best Picture, one Best Director. They were nominated for Best Actress was Betty Davis and Anne Baxter, and George Saunders won Best Actor, Supporting Actor. So there were quite a few. They cleaned up a little bit but not the two women. It's funny how
it's funny. Yeah,
I was thinking, what would a today movie? Because I was hoping there'd be a remake of it, and there wasn't. I mean, there was a movie in '89, but I couldn't find it, and it must have been very, very small. But if you did it again, it'd be about people who are internet stars, and you know what I mean? People who have a big YouTube following, and I want to learn how to be a YouTube person like you and get into their orbit. And because right now it's not impressive to be somebody who's in the plays. Like the world doesn't value that anymore. The world did value it in the 50s. They knew if you were in a play that's aristocracy. You know what I mean? That's a hard thing to do. Plays look down at movies, and movies look down at TV. You know what I mean? Like you could be on the stage. That's where you wanted to be.
That's right. And do you remember, Jeff, too? There were a number of references to TV and Hollywood. Like even with Marilyn Monroe, you'll be great on TV. Yeah. So
but it was a step down, right? It was but yeah. So there was a shift. Theater was the big thing, vaudeville and regular theater, and then eventually people got televisions. But until they got televisions, that was the way that you were entertained. So
you could go to movies. You could go to movies too, and that was actually more accessible. But it was the lower level more accessible. It wasn't. You weren't like big TV, big movie stars were not the same thing as. The same aristocracy as somebody who's been doing. That's why, what's his name? What was that guy who's married? Oh, I can't remember the movie. I'm so bad with remembering.
Okay, what are they married to? Who?
The movie about the guy who was it was almost a carnival setting.
The Entertainer.
The Entertainer.
Laurence Olivier.
Where was I going with that?
I don't know, but I'm sure it would have been very clever.
I was waiting. I was waiting. Where's this going?
I shouldn't have told you what it was.
Oh no, Laurence Olivier. Like at that time, he was a movie star.
Yes,
but he also did stage stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's where the love was. Even today, a lot of movie stars and stuff say, "But stage is where my love is." You know what I mean? But it's I wouldn't say a hack thing, but you can be a big stage star and nobody knows who you are.
Right.
Down on Broadway.
Yeah. And there's plenty of actors who make a living, but they never become stars.
I wonder if now people go do the stage to hope to get into movies and TV.
Sometimes it's a lot of times people from television who really want to do the stage, because television is just taping and going over and over again, and movies is even longer because it takes, a television, they have to have it done in a week. An hour or whatever. So the intimacy of stage is apparently good. So next Sunday, Martin and I go see Come From Away.
So nice. Yeah.
I've seen it before. And so we get to go see it. Our daughter-in-law gave it to us for babysitting. All the babysitting we do. So.
I saw it about 5 years ago in Toronto and I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
What else? That was a good movie.
It was, yeah.
A lot of complex characters. They were interwoven. That was.
So are we going to get Stacey to pick the next movie? Because if she does 4 in a row, then you'll do 4 in a row, and I can do 4 in a row. You know what I mean?
I say we can have a whole Stacey.
Maybe
Okay.
Stacey picks all year. That wouldn't be so bad.
Okay. Well, I know I had 3 possible choices at the beginning, like when we started
Yep.
last month. So the third one was The Accused, the original one, not the one with
Okay.
Jodie Foster. How about we go with that one then? And then I'll pick another one for the month after, and there are my 4.
Sounds great.
I like that. That's good.
Well, of course you like it. All your movies get picked.
Right. That's right.
I don't know that there's some pressure because I'm when we're doing back and forth and we were following because we were trying to connect them or whatever. Jeff would pick a movie and I'd have to pick one that connected. And a couple of times I had a real, I guess, like one of his was I can't remember, was like his movie was called Why, and I picked Why Not. Or, no,
Right,
he picked Her, and mine was Why Him or something like that.
exactly.
And the one we watched, it was such a bad movie. It was just so bad. It was James Franco, and it was just bad. And it was like, okay, it was almost like punishing to, like, you get to a certain part in the movie, and it's like, do we call it? Do we like call them and say, well, we shouldn't be watching this?
You should be watching this.
It's not a good movie. So. But this one had a lot of stars too. It was 98% or 99% for Rotten Tomatoes and 8.2 stars.
Oh, okay.
They did have a lot of stars, and you were right. They all played the same level in the movie. There wasn't 2 big stars and then a bunch of minor people trying to be stars. Like they all played the same kind of big role in this movie. I like that.
Yeah, no one was given a really stupid, like even Marilyn Monroe. It was a bit of I won't say a cameo, but a little bit of that. But it was good. Like it wasn't just this, I'm showing up for my close up. It was. I like Bette Davis more now that I've seen this movie. That's the thing. I like that too.
Mm-hmm.
And Baxter, I didn't know too much. We saw her in a movie too, didn't we, Jeff? Can't remember.
Let me see. I'll be able to tell.
How come I think it's with the guy who was like reminded me of Sherlock Holmes?
If Tomorrow Comes from 1971, she was in, and 10 Commandments. And Baxter.
Oh,
So
okay. No, that wasn't If Tomorrow Comes. Okay, I think of someone else. The one that was a detective thing.
with Marlowe, the private.
George C. Scott.
In what though? What did he?
I don't know, but I remember thinking, I don't even know who George C. Scott is, and then he was like a Sherlock Holmes kind of character. I have to go looking through my notes about that then.
I'm just gonna look. Dr. Strangelove.
Nope.
Strangelove. Exorcist. Hospital Hustler. Patton.
He was in The Changeling too.
Yeah, we didn't see that one. And
George-
they might be giants.
That's I think we saw.
You did.
Who was in? Who was in?
They might be giants. We did another movie about giants with Elizabeth Taylor.
No, who's in? They Might Be Giants.
Joanne Woodward, Jack Guilford.
Joanne Woodward.
No, every hero has a weakness, and Sherlock Holmes' weakness was Moriarty. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson solve mysteries. They might
watched
be
that.
We did not see that movie.
I think so.
Is that called They Might Be Giants? Is that the one?
They might be giants. Yeah, we didn't see that movie.
Yes, we did.
didn't
Does
say
ring a bell
so?
to me, Jeff. Yeah.
I think so.
No.
I don't have it. Oh, so the argument will. I don't have the thing
We'll
with
lay
me
down the law in this
with
one.
my list. Okay,
No.
there's a bet.
No.
Okay, because Anita's pretty
See,
sure that she's going to
your
win
only
this.
fan does remember them. So
Okay. What are we betting then?
So something that I believe that we watched They Might Be Giants already.
What are we betting?
We did it. I don't know. We'll have to think of something good. Jeff will do something.
Obviously, I lose the bet.
I don't know.
I won't lose the bet. We didn't see that movie.
Stacey and I know better. Oh,
You don't.
actually, I might have
I'm
forgotten.
looking at little images from it, and I'm looking at stuff. And I'm going, there's no way I saw that.
Yes. They were going through the streets, and I remember it was, and who was in that with him? Joanne Woodward, who was married to McQueen or Paul Newman or something like that. Woodward.
Let me just go to our video, my videos, and I'll just type in the word giants. And I'm going to go through my YouTube. Now that I got my YouTube back. Now I think I'm going to set all these up going forward under another email account, just in case it goes again. So I'm going to make one up calling it our movie review podcast at gmail.com or something like that. And then I'll put everything in there. So I'm going to go into
I know, search under WordPress and my name, and there might be giants.
I'm just going to do all the movies I've put up. I'm just going to search for the word giants.
Okay.
Have the word giants in the title. Oh, no, that did everything. Just do mine.
I got too many.
No way. There's no way. Stop it. I don't want to hear it.
Jeff searches.
You're not finding it.
Are you searching?
Well, when I do a search, search across your channel. There it is. Giants. Fuck you.
Well, when was it?
What in the...
I'm trying to close one of my things because my video's pausing.
October 28, 2021.
Yeah.
They might be giants. Now I'm remembering.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think it was a while ago. Go, Anita. Go, Stacey.
I don't like being wrong.
Jeff was wrong.
I don't like being wrong. I'm wrong.
No, I remember we watched George C. Scott because it's like I didn't know who he was, and he played Sherlock Holmes.
I remember that. I remember now how he was a goofy, like almost like a Sherlock Holmes because he's going mental or something.
Yeah,
like he was like losing it. Yeah,
but that is sad that we have a bunch of movies that
that's so bad. I
remember that. And it's not like we've been doing this for decades or anything like that. We've just.
I know we've only been doing it for maybe 8 years. That's 100 movies. And that's
we didn't for COVID. We stopped for
a little
year or whatever.
A little while, yeah. When you were banned from the house.
That's right, I was. But that's okay. Well, we used to sit on the couch on Roymore and just sit and watch it with Lexi.
Yeah. I remember you'd come over and we'd watch Gangs of New York in Russian.
Yes. The first movie we watched was Sling Blade.
Yeah, I know. My favorite movie.
Yeah, that was very good.
So
next time we will watch
The Accused. So
Accused. Yes.
Sounds good. This is the first time in a while that I've watched the movie last night, and we do this call today because sometimes I watch it like a week before. And then,
there's a bit of a pause.
There's a bit of a gap, and it's like sometimes it's like, what was I watching again? I take notes, and if it wasn't for that, I'd be going, I don't know. Not really sure. So, but wonderful things like Tony DeFranco got mentioned. So even though they had nothing to do with the movie,
it wasn't all just
now YouTube will take down our video for sure.
Yeah, we don't know. Don't know why yet.
But it is because of the cool thing is I did that test. I put just that video up on the new account, and it was taken down.
Yeah.
So somehow it wasn't somebody complaining. It wasn't because nobody would know that account. Who knows me ever?
Right.
It was Foxbat in Canada at gmail.com. I told no one. And it went away the exact same way the other one did. So it wasn't somebody that was just wanting to be mean to me. Like that wasn't the case.
It is some metric that it's ticking off, and somehow it's just saying that, that's not the thing.
Yeah. Very unusual. So
okay.
Well,
we'll see you next month.
See you next month. All right. Bye.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.